Senior. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about purchasing a device to move forward. So when you're a big bad college freshman, you have what you need. And this is a guide kind of based on my experience. It's not meant to be a one size fits all or that this is what you've got to have. I always just have people ask me what I would look at or think about. So that's it. And since I can't be with you guys in person, here I am to talk about it. So first things first, based on your major and your college, that's how you should choose your device. So for example, if you know you're going to be an engineer, folks, you're going to choose a PC machine. If you know, for example, that you're probably not going to be an engineer, that you just need a tool that you're familiar with, that you're going to use to make paper, write papers and work for school and search the internet, et cetera, et cetera. I would go with a Mac. I'm a Mac girl and I just like their dependability. So I'm going to talk about both sides and what you need to know and what you need to think about. So first things first, if you decide to buy a Mac, what should you consider? First things first, you want to buy it from the education pricing side. You're going to save at least 10% if you shop through here. All you need to have is your college email. And if you have applied for your college and been accepted, you've probably already set up an email. And if you haven't, you need to, because that's how you communicate, plan for orientation, enroll, all that good stuff. Pay them. They like their money. So you need to have one of those. And if you do, and you have an Apple ID already that's not attached to like your school email, which you want to make sure you don't, because you got to be able to get to it, go ahead and click here. And when you do, you are going to go to their education store. And of course, they show you all their pricing and what you have to choose from. So here's the first thing you have to consider. What machine do I want? And you guys have grown up using an Air, and an Air is a great machine for two reasons. One is it has what's called a solid state hard drive. That means it's really durable. Whenever you take it places, even if you jostle it, jolt it while it's on, it tends to wear like iron. And so that's why an Air is a good choice. If, for example, you just need a machine that's going to be like searching, surfing, paper writing, all of that kind of thing, it's awesome. And to be quite honest, you can get by with a lot of things with an Air, and it's a good price. So that's not a bad choice. It's portable, it works well. So that's one of your options. If, however, you know you're going to be doing some higher level processing, like you want to continue to work on film, or you want to continue to work on musical production, or that sort of thing, I would suggest a MacBook Pro, and it's a step up. Now keep in mind, it is also a more delicate machine, although it's got higher processing power, which means it can handle more high-level applications like Photoshop or Final Cut Pro. It's also not as durable when you haul it around, so you've got to be a little more aware of how you treat it. So I guess, well, that's true with any of the machines, but you know what I'm saying. So if you choose a machine, whichever you choose, and realize you should go shopping, things that you should also think about. I'm just clicking on the Pro. They're going to give you sizes, okay? Do I put my money in a wider screen? Well, keep in mind, one, this is probably going to be your entertainment center for many of you. You're going to use this to play games and watch YouTube and YouTube TV or whatever you're going to do. Or buy a smaller screen and get an external monitor. That's an option as well. And I'll talk to you about that in here in a minute. So I'll show you, they give you options as far as processor speed and storage. Internal storage is not as big a deal as I would think. External storage is a great thing. You want to look at processor speed, depending again on what you do. And they give you like cool colors to pick. I mean, it's just whatever. I mean, it's pretty. So you get to pick whatever. Choose your machine based on what you need it to do. The higher, the stronger the processor, the faster you're able to handle controlling advanced software like Photoshop, Illustrator, Final Cut Pro, ta-da, right? So it just depends on what you want to do. And of course, prices go up quickly. So if I select my machine, notice that it will be shipped to me in 1 to 2 business days. And I have the following options. It'll tell me what my machine's going to look like. And by the way, all of these machines come with a touch bar. The thing I want you to understand is all of the machines you're going to buy from Apple that are new do not have USB input. One more time, do not have USB input. They function with what's called a Thunderport or what's called USB-C. And you must have a dongle for you to input USB content and or a VGA. So let's say I buy a secondary monitor and I want to hook it up and use it while I work on my laptop. You will need a dongle, and it looks like this. You can actually look it up, and let me show you what the end of it looks like. That's USB-C. That little input right there, that's what a VGA is. Here's a USB input, here's USB-C, and if I purchase this in addition to, notice it's not cheap, it's $69, this will allow me have all the access I need for a secondary monitor, or if I go to college and someone asks me to do a presentation on a projector, you will have that. If you don't have one of these, you don't have the ability to do that. Welcome to adulting. It's great. So here is like my machine. Here's some options. Again, I can choose to up my processor. And again, every time I do that, I jump up with money when I improve things. What they're also going to give you a chance to purchase is kind of what I would talk to you about. Check this out. This Pro Apps Bundle for Education. The Pro Apps Bundle for Education, let me see if I can show you what it looks like. Come on. You get this. And guys, this is a great buy for especially my Vision Tech kids who are creators. But you would get Final Cut Pro, Motion 5, which lets you create cool enter titles. Think of it as a variation of Adobe After Effects, but more with film in mind. Compressor, which lets you put anything or lets you make it in a package that would be marketable or shareable or to put on online. It lets you compress your work. Logic Pro, which is great for music producing and that content. It's GarageBand on steroids. And MainStage 3, which lets you actually create amazing content based on the products that you produce. You get all of that, I think, for one fell price. Let me get here. I think it's $2.99, crew. Oh, you also get MainStage 3. But if you do that, let me look here. As I'm telling you that, it's $199. I will tell you that Final Cut alone is $350. So if you are a media bug kid and you want to continue to make things, that's a bargain. It really, really is. So I might put that on there. Here's what comes: my machine, my charger cord, my charger. That's it. They only give you the machine, the charger, and the cord. This would already be installed if I bought this. Okay. And I want to show you what the last thing you need to consider. Okay. So this is important. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not a salesperson at all, but when I bought my students, my own kids, their machines, I always bought the Apple Care package. And here is why. And you need to understand the difference. Apple Care will you will get a year of automatic coverage. And what that means is if anything on your machine goes wrong, like your trackpad, sticky, it won't work correctly, or suddenly for some reason you have problems with your speaker system or something, anything that goes wrong with the machine, it's covered for up to a year. But if you purchase the Apple Care on top of that for $249, you get up to 3 years of accidental coverage. That will take you all the way almost to the end of a college experience. That means anything that goes wrong with your machine, it's fixable. And it's on your package. It's like part of your machine. And we can fix it here for you at Smoky Valley. Remember, we have Apple authorized folks. So as long as you didn't do something to the machine and something goes wrong with it, you bring it in, they look up your stuff, they fix it, they hand it back to you. And we do that in rapid time. And you know where to come and who to talk to. That's the advantage. Now, let's say you spill a Coca-Cola on your machine. That's on you. We can still help you out and fix it. It's just not going to be covered by Apple Care. Apple Care covers anything that happens to the machine due to natural wear and tear, not due to you dropping it or spilling stuff on it. I hope that makes sense. So it's to me, that's an investment that's well worth it. Divide that cost by 3 and think about what one piece of your computer is going to cost to replace if you don't have it. So things to think about. It also comes with that cable, and with notice they want to charge you extra for USB-C to a USB adapter. That's why this adapter is a better buy. You get everything you need in one fell swoop. Okay. By the way, even if you buy an Apple Air, they're the same way. They are now they don't have USB input, so you want to check that before you purchase. When you get done, you send them the money, and everything comes to you in a box, and it's pretty, and you open it up, and you have total control. It's going to have all the Apple suite on it. It's going to have GarageBand and iMovie and Pages and Keynote. Okay, all those things for free. It'll have that there for you. What will it not have? Microsoft Office. That was something that Smoky Valley purchased and put on your machine. So you're going to have to, but let me show you the trick. Actually, you can find places. This is one. It's called On the Hub. And if you have a college email address, again, college school email address, you can look up your school and you can get software for a really cheap price or reduced price, download it and install it to your machine. So things that you can have are Microsoft Office things. That's what you can have. And first they'll ask you to find your school, whatever your school happens to be. And you can often get software for free or next to nothing. So you just have to put your school in here. So do that. Get yourself free software. Okay. Last thing, if you want to purchase a Microsoft PC, what would I recommend? Well, first of all, I will tell you that I would not get something like a Chromebook because they're app driven. You need something that you can install some content on. Personally, and again, this is personally, not a big ad campaign. I like this brand. It's called Lenovo, and the reason I like it is because the reliability of the hard drive for a laptop. Now, if you can remember, you're going to have lots of machines you could build with towers that have much stronger performance, but when it comes to durability with a laptop and a hard drive, I just like this brand. It's been very reliable for my students in the past, and that's why I pointed out. Keep in mind you can buy Dell or ASICS or Sony. I mean, there's just tons of brands, but this is just something for me to recommend for you to look at if you're out there in that shopping category. And again, based on what you're going to use, depends on what you're going to buy. Here's what you got to know. While a PC machine is going to be much more affordable, it's also not going to be as reliable for as long. And you just got to know that. You will, again, need to purchase Microsoft Office for your machine, and I highly recommend you investing in some strong viral protection for your machine. Norton is pretty solid. I mean, and you might actually look up on the hub. They might actually have some of that for you at a really reduced price or for free. But you need to install that. Keep in mind you're going to be on a college network and they don't necessarily have the greatest security. So you're going to want to look at all of those options. And I guess that's about it. I will tell you that when you get your machine, setting it up is all up to you. Think about what you're doing as you go. My recommendations, make sure if you do an Apple, that you've got an Apple ID that is not connected to a school, Smoky Valley High School, email account, because you won't have access to it much longer. Also, make sure that you have set up your college email so that you can automatically get some of these great price reductions. And that's about it. So proud of you guys. Happy graduation times. We'll see you later.